In a small village nestled in the foothills of the Himalayas, there lived a young woman named Kavya. Kavya was a bright and adventurous girl who loved exploring the wilderness surrounding her village. One day, while wandering in the woods, she stumbled upon a hermitage tucked away in a secluded corner of the forest. Kavya was curious, and her inquisitive nature drew her towards the hermitage. As she approached, she saw a man sitting in deep meditation. His face was serene, and his eyes were closed in peaceful contemplation. Kavya was mesmerized by the man's aura and decided to wait for him to finish his meditation. Hours passed, and as the sun began to set, the sage finally opened his eyes. He looked at Kavya, and their eyes met. In that moment, Kavya felt a jolt of electricity run through her body. She had never felt such a strong connection with anyone before. The sage was taken aback by Kavya's sudden appearance but was intrigued by her persistence. He asked her why she had come to his hermitage, and Kavya explained that she was drawn to his spiritual presence and wished to learn from him. The sage was hesitant at first, as he had taken an oath of celibacy and vowed to devote his life to the pursuit of enlightenment. However, Kavya's enthusiasm and eagerness to learn won him over, and he agreed to teach her. Over the next few months, Kavya and the sage spent hours discussing philosophy and spirituality. Kavya was a fast learner, and the sage was impressed by her deep understanding of complex spiritual concepts. As they spent more time together, Kavya fell deeply in love with the sage. One day, Kavya confessed her love to the sage, but he gently rebuffed her, reminding her of his oath of celibacy. Kavya was heartbroken but refused to give up. She knew that the sage was her soulmate, and she was determined to convince him to marry her. Kavya decided to embark on a spiritual journey of her own. She traveled to the top of the highest mountain in the Himalayas and spent months meditating and seeking enlightenment. Her devotion and dedication to her spiritual practice impressed the sage, and he began to see her in a new light. Finally, after much contemplation, the sage realized that his love for Kavya was stronger than his vow of celibacy. He agreed to marry her, and they exchanged vows in a simple ceremony in the forest. Kavya and the sage lived a happy and fulfilled life, sharing their spiritual journey and exploring the depths of love and consciousness together. They became renowned spiritual teachers, spreading their wisdom and compassion to all who sought their guidance. And so, the young woman who had once been a curious wanderer in the forest became a sage's wife, and together they lived a life full of love and spiritual growth.